and you can start having ideas again. Because it gets very, very depressing when you're confronting that wall. Sometimes, and it depends upon the project or what you're doing, sometimes you've got to just keep hammering against that wall. And sometimes you break through, but your own instinct will tell you whether that's happening or not.
I agree. Just to doing something actually completely opposite, to take your mind out so you can come back fresh. Otherwise, you just stop being able to see or come up with new ideas in any fashion. So I also go for a walk, or just try to get out of like the zone that you're in and to come back into it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right over here, please.
Okay. So all of the other doctors have had right here.
Oh, hi.
All of the other doctors have had a catchphrase, but 12 doesn't really have one yet, unless you count "shut up." Is there plans to give 12 a catchphrase, or?
It is no catchphrases.
I vote for shut up.
I think shut up is a good catchphrase.
I think shut up is somebody else's catchphrase.
See, do we have one ready over and the standing over here?
This is for Clara, but how did you feel whenever Missy had put you in the Dalek?
Claustrophobic, but also quite glad of a seat. It was quite strange. It was quite tricky to film in there, but it was. We like built one that was like 3/4, and I had to get in, and it was like all specially made. But then the hardest thing was they then had to glue wires onto my head, which didn't stick. So Liam from props had to come in every single take and just literally just put glue all over my forehead. But other than that, it was very fun, and I got wheeled everywhere.
So over here, please.
This one's for Jenna, sorry.
Hello.
But, how was it emotionally getting to the place that you had to get into for your character's death, knowing you'd be back?
Well, did we know? When we filmed Face the Raven, had we read 12?
I don't think we have.
Because we knew, I remember when I first read Face the Raven, and I knew there was a goodbye, like a big goodbye in that, and I remember having a conversation with Stephen to say, I know I'm back in 11 and 12, but how? And because I don't want to, really play this goodbye if I'm going to pop up again and be like, hi, and then have to do a big goodbye again. But he said it's going to be very, very different. So it was something I was conscious of where to pitch, but how the season ends and how the art comes out, we never really know. Stephen's always got something up his sleeve, and you don't know until the script lands on the table what it's going to be. So he just said, really play it for truth and for real. This is the real goodbye as such.
And over here, please.
And there was a live Raven, so it was hard to not be scared.
This is for both of you, and this is, what were the top 2 most awkward moments from you?
Awkward moments. Top 2 awkward moments.
We don't really have. Oh, is this one?
Maybe this is it. I'm trying to think, was there anybody, have we embarrassed ourselves or anything?
Because they kind of work different and they have different ideas, different motivations.
For me, it was kind of an improvement because the first 2 days as Oswin I spent on set, there was no one else there. It was me talking to a green circle, which in the edit became matte and everything you could see through the eyepiece. So all of Asylum of the Dalek, I was never once on set with another person. So going into playing Clara against Matt and against other live humans was really good.
Have you finished?
I've finished.
Well, I just thought that was going to be my only ever time in Doctor Who. Was going to be in the Fires of Pompeii. So I was just enjoying every moment of it. But of course, I knew it was a character with an episodic he only had to exist in that episode. So I didn't have to kind of colour him with a longer arc or anything like that. And I was just very fanboyish about the whole experience. But I have to try and be more professional when I'm playing the Doctor now. It was great fun. And obviously, playing the Doctor isn't. That's a joke. It's British irony.
Over here, please.
This is kind of an unrelated question, but when are the Green Boys getting back together?
For anyone who doesn't know, that was a group, a rock group that I was in with Craig Ferguson of the Late Late Show. And it was the single worst name for a band ever because it sounds like we're like the Chippendales or something like that. But we weren't. We were sort of trying to be Kafka-esque and nightmarish. But no, I don't think we're going to get together.
And over here.
Hi. If you could team up with anyone from Classic Who or New Who that you haven't worked with yet, who would you pick?
Tom Baker. I did meet him, but I wasn't in a scene with him, so that doesn't count. So it would be Tom Baker.
Oh, is that?
That's my answer.
That's your answer. Oh, okay.
Oh, why? Is that your answer?
No, I thought you were doing an impression of me doing an impression.
No,
I thought you were
no.
preempting my answer.
No. That was Jenna giving her answer.
Oh, okay. Alive or dead?
Yes.
I think it would be pretty amazing to see William Hartnell. I mean, can you imagine that?
I've technically been in a scene with him.
Technically, yeah. Well, digitally.
Digitally and with a double, we recreated the scene, and then digitally did it all. It was very clever and very fun. Sorry, carry on.
Yes, but it wasn't the real William Hartnell.
But on screen, we've been in a scene together.
Why are you doing this in front of all these?
Come on, it's such a good trump card. I can't help
Bring me down all the time. Well, the real William Hartnell, I'd like to. I've actually got. We don't have any cameras here, do we? Oh no, we don't have a video camera.
They've been running around a bit.
Oh, okay.
I think there's one over there.
Are you operating? Is there a
Yeah.
big picture? Is there a big screen?
Come on, is this going to take ages?
No, it's not. You answer another. Ask another question, and I'll.
Okay, over here, please.
First of all, I want to say that Peter, thanks for touching my guitar at the photo ops. That was really awesome.
I used to suggest to make her more uncomfortable. I would mention actresses who might replace her.
Peter's favourite joke, to tease me mercifully, will go, bring back Billie Piper.
That's right. She's great. Karen, they're fantastic. All of them are absolutely amazing. But I did actually. There was an actress who hadn't played a companion who I suggested should be the new companion. And one day we were filming a scene and they were filming my. I'm not being rude here. This looks like I'm really bored. I'm like, whatever. I was doing this scene and it was rather emotional, and I was doing all my lines, and I turned round to deliver my lines to Jenna, and she was wearing a mask of the said actress.
You didn't really react.
Well, it wasn't that funny, really.
All right, I see shadows over here. Is there one over
I
here?
see shadows.
Hello.
Hi. What is your most two favorite lines being the doctor?
My two most favourite lines.
Yeah.
Don't be lasagna. Is one. And I like.
Do you remember that one? Do you remember that one?
I'm
where
actually,
you-
it's my time.
There's that one
Mine.
where you kept laughing at yourself. On the was it the one that was like, 'cause that's how we roll. In the Saigon episode, and
Yeah.
you got so overexcited to do it that you then couldn't do it without laughing.
Yeah, I can't remember. It was like I was going to go and destroy all this.
And then we go do this, we go do this, we go do this. That's how we roll.
That's how. I like saying I am the doctor. Where? No, I'm looking for your camera. Is that it? Is it? You're not attached. Okay, it's quite fun. Let me show you a picture. You're gonna zoom that. I don't think this is gonna work.
You can see.
See that? That's me and David Bradley as William Hartnell. And that was before I was cast as Doctor Who. That's Mark Gatiss said to me, "Do you want to come to a studio and see something interesting?" And I went, and they were filming an Adventure in Time and Space, and David Bradley was playing William Hartnell, and he looked extraordinary. Of course, when I grew up, William Hartnell was my first Doctor, and I would love to have met him or seen him around something. So that was the nearest I got to.
See, over here, please.
How did it feel when you transformed from Matt Smith to Peter Capaldi?
I've actually always been Peter Capaldi. It was, in a way, it was the best thing about it was I was able to fit into his trousers, which I'm sure a lot of people would be. I'll stop. It was amazing. It was great. Matt is so fantastic. I loved him as Doctor Who, and he was such a nice guy to me. And he was such a gentleman. And I was really nervous because these guys have been filming for a year and they're reaching the end, and Matt's saying goodbye to everyone, and they have to do the scene, Matt's final scene with Jenna, and then I have to walk in. And Jen has to carry on with me. Day, but I can't thank Matt enough for his graciousness and his kindness in giving me a big hug and saying, giving me the key to the TARDIS and saying, "This is yours now." Jenna was quite spiky and distant. But also the whole production crew, they were great. They really made it easy for me. But yeah, it feels strange because I knew I could still wear Matt's costume, which, and being as the BBC, we can only afford one costume. That's why the trouser issue was relevant.
Well, if I can piggyback onto that, Jenna, was it harder to see Matt go or harder to leave yourself?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think you can compare them really, because they're both really different experiences, and it's interesting because it's the feeling of you're always saying goodbye to something. You're saying goodbye to a dynamic and a working relationship and a special thing really that you kind of know you're not going to get in any other place or time. So it's hard to compare, but equally both sad.
And over here, please.
Are you my mommy?
Get that kid's name. Get him out of here.
Okay, I won't be sleeping tonight, thank you very much. Let's stick over here.
Hello.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Doctor.
Doctor Who.
Exactly.
Oh, we have one right here, please.
Hello, and thank you so much. I actually have an episode question. So I know that you had an episode where you had a deaf actor, and first of all, I wanted to thank you all very much for that, because so often.
Were there ever moments when you were just amazed at the filth that was coming out of your mouth? Or had moments when you accidentally or inadvertently internalized some of Malcolm's cussy nature?
Well, now that I'm in a family show, I'm not sure that we're in the right venue for me to go into detail about the controlling of Malcolm's cussiness. But he certainly he could say anything he liked. And the worst thing really was I used to practice it at home. I'd get the lines and I still do. I work in the kitchen. I always end up doing the same with Doctor Who. I learn my lines in the kitchen. So I'd pace up and down the kitchen learning his lines, getting louder and louder and louder and more rude. And I'm sure the neighbours must have got really upset. But the worst thing was if my family, I'd build myself into a state of absolutely horrendous Malcolm cruelty and evilness and nastiness, and someone would call downstairs and say, "Have you seen the remote control?" I'd be like, "Ah!" So we had to put Malcolm in a box, and we don't really, not a blue box. Or did we?
Over here. Over here.
This question is about the episode Heaven Sent. Peter, I heard you in an interview, and you said you and Rachel Talalay, the director, had some creative differences. So I wonder if you can talk a little bit about your conversations and how you did that episode.
I'm kind of surprised you say that because Rachel, we don't have differences, Rachel, and well, perhaps we may. I think Rachel is a fabulous director, absolutely fabulous. She is, she's the real thing through and through. She's hugely professional, hugely skilled, great craft skills, and a fabulous eye, and an artist. And I love working with her. So I'm not sure, if we had, perhaps what has been reported is the discussions that we have, where we can be very frank with each other about things, but they're not. There's never any hostility. We're very simpatico.
That wasn't what I intended. It was more of a creative interpretation was different. It was a quote from you, but
Oh, really?
Sorry.
No, that's. I'm sorry. I forget what I say most of the time. Like even at the start of a sentence, by the time I reach the end, I've forgotten what.
It was a brilliant episode.
Well, it was due to Stephen's fabulous script and Rachel's fabulous direction. because it also it was going quite to the wire. It was quite late coming in. I don't mind scripts being late because I know that they're getting better and better all the time. That's what's happening to them. But Rachel had to create that very, very complicated world, not knowing really where it was going to conclude or where it was going. And she did it absolutely brilliantly, I think. And I hope she's going to come back and work with us again.
Now I have to say, they told me backstage, do not go over 30 minutes, and I totally ignored them. So now I am getting a frantic signal to wrap it up. Peter Capaldi and Jenna Coleman, thank you so much for joining us.